right? I'm depressed. That's why I'm fat. No, you're not fat because you're depressed. You're depressed because you're fat. So how about this? Go to the gym and train. Oh, that's hard. Well, then stay depressed. Like, what do you want? What answer do you want? No, I want a way to be as fat and unhealthy as possible while also having a perfectly capable mind and feeling fantastic. Well, then you get down the route of just drugging yourself, right? The mind is a very sophisticated chemical factory and your body produces chemicals. What's the complication here? Like, why is it hard to work out that if your body is efficient and doing what it's supposed to do and strong and is optimal, then your mind is probably going to follow? What's there complicated to understand that habits, which are beneficial to you, are going to allow you to build a more disciplined, to be a more motivated individual, and also change your objective reality? People also want to disconnect not only mental health from physical health, but they also try and disconnect mental health from objective reality. I have it all the time. They go, oh, he's depressed. It's not his fault. I say, listen, he's a loser and his life is shit. If I was him, I'd be depressed. So let's not pretend that his mental health is completely separate to the objective reality of the fact that he is a lonely dork. Of course he's depressed. Who wouldn't be? Yes. If he got up and tried his best and was disciplined and was motivated and he was important and actually became somebody, guess what? He'd start to feel better. So you're completely right. They have separated from physical health. They separated from spiritual health, because also if you know you're doing bad things inside of your heart, you're going to feel guilt, which is why all the people who've absorbed the matrix programming end up being so unhappy. But also the biggest disconnect for me is mental health and physical reality. I've said to depressed people before, I'm depressed, I have a disease. Okay, you have a disease. Describe your life for me. And they describe their life. Say, you don't have a disease, you have a shit life. That's it. You have a shit life. So you don't got a disease, you're just a fucking loser. Fix your life, you'll feel better. No, it's not that simple. It is that simple, my friend, because I'll tell you something. I'm the happiest man on the planet, but if I was you, I'd be depressed because you're a fucking loser. So that's it. That's it. You're a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser. But I say this stuff, and the reason I say it so brutally is because I don't believe the people who are losers didn't decide to be losers. If you're a loser, you chose to be. For the same reason, if you're fat, you chose to be fat. I don't fucking buy any bullshit that someone is force feeding you. You decided to be. I think the universe is a very giving place. I think that God is very giving. I think that in reality, objective reality, if you truly try your best, you'll get it. I've yet to meet somebody, maybe you can correct me, who eats right, goes to the gym every day, and trains as hard as they could, who is not in fantastic shape. I've never seen it. It's like, so the only people who aren't in fantastic shape are the people who decided not to do those things. So they decided. So I don't feel sorry for them. I'm done having pity with people. I'm done fucking sitting there going, oh, doop-de-doo. No, you decided to be a fucking loser. So your life's shit. So you're depressed. Good. That's what you decided to pull from the universe. I decided to pull the absolute opposite. Self-accountability is truly terrifying to a loser who knows they'll always be a loser, right? Once you realize that you don't have the mental fortitude to get up and change yourself, then the last thing you want is self-accountability. That's very scary to you. And that's why they fight very hard to push against it and pretend it's not true. What's funny about these people who are always trying to change the world and change the way things work and the systems and the oppression and the fucking gendered pay gap and whatever, all the other crap they come up with. What they fail to understand is that it doesn't matter what system you implement. It doesn't matter if it's democracy or communism. It doesn't matter if it's a monarchy. It doesn't matter what it is. The world is competitive. And there's going to be people who do better than you. And sooner or later, regardless of how you organize or structure a system, the people who work harder or are smarter or more inventive or do better are going to end up with a better scenario or a better situation. If you try and construct a society where that's literally impossible, then society fails. So even inside of communism, the people who ended up higher members of the party, or the people who ended up owning the factory, or the people who ended up finding a little black market thing on the side, or the people who lived a better life in communism were the hustlers, were the ambitious people, were the hardworking people. They're the ones who managed to find a way to get blue jeans in, or a Michael Jackson CD, or whatever it was, and make some money. So it doesn't matter what system you construct. If you are a lazy loser, you're going to still be at the bottom of the totem pole, because there's going to be people like me. I'm destroying you in capitalism, and I will promise you, as God is my witness, I would destroy you under communism just the exact fucking same, because I'm smarter than you, and I work harder than you, and that's who I am as a man. I will always beat you. So it doesn't matter what system you try and put together, the winners are going to win, and the losers are going to lose. So a lot of these people who are so obsessed with trying to change the system as if it's going to give them a fighting chance, no, because the world is competitive. It's player versus player. A lot of people don't understand that. Every single thing of value that you want, the reason it has value and the reason you want it is because other people want it. That hot girl you want, other men want. That's why you want her, to get her, to show it's valuable. If no one else wanted her, she wouldn't be considered hot. and then you wouldn't want her at all. That's the exact point of it. So you're always competing against other people. Every dollar you want, somebody else wants. Every car you want, somebody else wants. It's completely and utterly competitive, and it doesn't matter what structure you put on top of society. That's base human nature. And if you're going to be a loser, and you're not going to take self-accountability, and you're not going to wake up and realize that absolutely everything in your life is your own fault and you can affect it, then you are going to lose. And I'm done, Zuby. I'm done feeling sorry for these people. I don't feel sorry for them. Don't feel not an ounce of pity anymore. Don't give a shit, because they decided to be losers. That's what I've learned. I think a lot of people build their mindsets around trying to feel good. So that's why we were talking earlier about people who want to ignore the idea of personal responsibility or self-accountability, because they feel better if they pretend it's not a real thing. They feel better if they pretend everything's someone else's fault. A lot of people's mental model and how they view the world is based around them feeling as good as possible. So when you sit there and talk to somebody who has the mask on and they refuse to believe the elites are laughing at them, it's not because they can't comprehend the ideas, it's because they feel better if they don't believe that they are a clown to the elites. I feel better if this is really all innocent and it's really all about a disease. So people are they're basing their mindsets around trying to feel good. I have always tried to base my mindset around absolute competence, regardless of how I feel. And there are certainly disadvantages to that. There are times you're going to be a lot more pessimistic, or you're going to be a lot more stressed, or a lot more, pissed off about certain things than others. Yeah, that can be seen as a downside. But like I said, I use all of those things for unlimited motivation to propel my endless upward trajectory. But if you construct a mindset that allows you to be as competent as possible, as opposed to feel any different or feel better, then you're going to naturally come to the conclusions I've come to. You're as competent as possible if you believe you can affect absolutely everything about your life. You're as competent as possible if you believe absolutely everything that's happened to you, whether good or bad, is completely your fault. You're as competent as possible if you believe the bad things that happen to you are going to allow you to work harder and become even better. When bad things happen to me, the first thing out of my mouth is good. Good. Andrew, they took $10 million out of the bank because they canceled you. Good. Good. That's just my response. Good. Andrew, this happened. Good. Good. Now I'm really pissed. Good. This mindset I've constructed allows me to be as fearsome a competitor as possible. It allows me to be a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor, and that's the point of a mindset. Why would you have a mental model or a mentality that made you anything less? In the ultra competitive world that we've just discussing that everybody wants the things you have, why would you absorb information or construct a mental model that doesn't allow you to be as competitive as possible? I am a feared competitor in anything I do. Anyone who's up against me at anything is going to feel a degree of nervousness just because it's me. It doesn't matter what it is. If you say, look, you're going to go learn how to play piano and you're going to play against someone else who's never played piano and you're going to learn, and that guy's Andrew Tate, you're going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake. I can't even play piano. But part of them is going to be like, oh, not Tate. Even though I have no piano experience, because they just know me. They know my mindset. They know my determination. They know I'm stubborn. They know I don't quit. They know I'm going to win. That's just who I am. So I've constructed a mental model that allows me to be competent and to always succeed. And that's how I've come to the conclusions I've come to. And I truly, once again, don't understand how people go through the world with any other mental model. I get asked all the time, but what do you feel? Or what about happiness or depression? That doesn't even, how I feel doesn't cross my mind. I don't know how else to explain it. There are days where I'm pissed off or sad or happy. It doesn't cross my mind. It's just like, I woke up, whatever mood I happen to be in, I have things I need to do. It's a busy day. Zuby's here soon. I need to go training before he gets here. I had a meeting with the bank at 7:15 a.m. I have shit to do. I didn't cross my mind if I was happy, sad, excited. I just had to work. Yeah. So I think my mental model, to a degree, I'm certainly not a person who doesn't feel emotions, because we're all human. I certainly do. But I've never prioritized them in any regard. I haven't built a mental model that affects, I haven't put them in the middle of my mental model and then affected my actions based on how I feel for each one. It's absolutely and completely the opposite. I would love to do a podcast on a day where I'm particularly sad and a podcast on a day when I'm particularly happy. And I guarantee you wouldn't be able to tell the fucking difference. So that's what allows me to be competitive, right? Because if you're competitive, if you want to be the most competitive predator on the planet, you have to be able to hunt in the day and the night. You have to be able to do both. You have to be able to perform when you're happy and sad. You can't only be able to perform when you're happy. You can't only go to the gym when you're motivated. You can't only be a competent person when your life's going well, because when your life's not going well, you're no longer competent. Then you're going to lose to people like me. And it's player versus player. If you're the kind of person who can only do well when you're happy and you're competing against someone like me who can do well all the fucking time, guess what? You lose. So my mental model, the answer is most of my opinions are just based around constructing a mental model that allows me to be brutally competitive. Yeah. It's why I say depression isn't real. I've argued this point endlessly. And I try and explain to people, but they're not smart enough to understand that I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care.
I get it.
I am more competitive as an individual if I don't believe I can become depressed. So I don't give a fuck if I'm right or wrong, because no matter what bad happens to me in my life, even if, heaven forbid, the worst things on earth that could happen to me, I could never become clinically depressed because I would never self-diagnose myself as clinically depressed because I don't believe in it. I believe that I am currently sad, but I have work to do, and eventually I will feel better. I will never get to a point of absolute desperation and kill myself because I'm never gonna get to a point of hopelessness because I don't believe in the idea of hopelessness. You cannot try and make me adopt thinking that will reduce my competitiveness as an individual. So I don't give a fuck if I'm wrong. I don't believe in it. That's it. End of story. So I don't believe in things that take power away from me. I don't believe in things that make me less competitive, and I don't adopt mental models that make me less competitive. Every single mental model I have are the most efficient ones I could find. They're the mental model I found that if I adopt, I become a more fearsome predator. That's it. So this is how I've come to all of my conclusions as an individual.